When I was asked to speak at this festival, I considered, what is it that I care about? What am I passionate about? For me, what's relevant today is the virtue of leadership in difficult times. Simply, there's never been a more important time to be good. I'm the principle of People at their Best, which exists to help organisations to build their internal capability to match their external ambition. Helping everyone to be their best is our mission. It's what drives us. Maya Angelou said, people won't remember what you say, they won't remember what you do, but they'll always remember how you make them feel. So how do I want you to feel? I want you to feel challenged, but inspired. But mostly, I want you to feel enabled, that with effort and intention and putting in place some of the ideas I'll discuss today, you can be the leaders you want to be. So what is a good leader? What makes some people good leaders? And what do you believe leadership should look like? As I move through the presentation, keep a mental list of the qualities of a good leader. My comments today are anchored in organisational leadership, that is, a work context. But the qualities I'll be discussing relate to all of us and all domains of the human experience, not only our work. And this brings me to my second core message. Leadership is what you do, regardless of the title. We all have the opportunity to lead at any moment and take responsibility for doing the right thing. So if your actions inspire others to dream more, to learn more, to do more, and to become more, then you are a leader, to quote John Quincy Adams. But this begs the question, is building the collective capacity of the people around you, the people you care about, do you regard this as your responsibility? Do you do it deliberately, consciously? And how well are you serving the people that you care about? So before you decide to be a leader, your actions, your success is all about you, about serving yourself. But when you decide to be a leader, then success is all about serving others, about helping them to become the best they can be. In this statement is the concept of service, not just as a predictor of leadership success, which it is, but also of your own personal well-being. It is a shift in attention from self to the other. But leadership has never been tougher. VUCA is a term coined by the US military, and it's very appropriate for us today. It stands for volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. Leaders now face an unpredictable world, packed full of novel problems we've not had to deal with previously. What has changed is that we are now faced with highly complex situations where multiple problems have to be addressed simultaneously, with little certainty about how things will turn out. This image is of the Deepwater Horizon, the BP oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico back in 2010. Why was it so difficult to deal with this emergency? Well, in a complex environment, what's required is leadership that is collaborative when making decisions and collective when problem solving. Leadership that leverages different ideas, but instead the leaders employed traditional behavior, what we call vertical decision-making and linear problem solving. And these are insufficient to deal with complex environments that are unfolding in non-sequential and unpredictable ways, where there's no single right answer. In such environments, more flexible, divergent, emergent thinking is required because problems are too multifaceted for one individual working alone to solve. Collective intelligence is required. The rock star of science, Dr. Brian Cox, says that all true breakthroughs, all progress requires more than one brain, and never has this been more true. We need leadership that's inclusive, collaborative, collective, so as to leverage different ideas. We need leadership that is better able to engage others and help bring out our best selves to fully contribute to solving the world's complex problems. This is my core message. Leaders need an approach that fosters collective intelligence and collaborative effort. That's the antidote to VUCA. So in future, leadership will be about engaging others to align their efforts, being inclusive and leveraging diverse thinking to collectively solve problems, cognitive agility to allow us to respond appropriately to our changing world, and very importantly, creating experiences that are valued. This is important because the future belongs to cultures that are engaged and inclusive, flexible and adaptive, and driven to create meaningful experiences. So are you leading in the way described on the right-hand side of this slide? What's letting you down? What can you do about it? In cultivating this culture, you will position yourself, your team, and those you care about for our uncertain, unpredictable, and volatile future. So are you ready for this new future? This graphic represents the shifts that we believe leaders and cultures must move towards. You see, there's a mega trend occurring where we're witnessing the substitution of material consumption for experiences. In future, experiences will be more valued than products, and purpose will be a bigger driver than profit. As a result, successful leaders and successful cultures will be those who embody the descriptors on the right of this graphic. In a world where everything can be copied and replicated, where everything is being automated, there's only 4 areas that machines can't imitate: helping people to make sense of complexity, helping people to feel understood, helping people feel valued, and helping people to see a path to a better future. It is in the creation of these experiences where leaders can create real value. It's where the future of leadership resides. But to do this well, leaders require empathy, and I'll speak more of that in a moment. This year we ran a leadership survey, and we posed a question to get people to think about the past 18 months and the challenges we've all had to face, like COVID and extreme climate events. We asked people to list the qualities that they have observed in great leaders that have helped them to navigate volatile times. What is clear is that we admire leaders who can demonstrate humility and admit mistakes, openness and transparency, authenticity, where their actions are aligned to their values. We admire leaders that show respect and service to others, empathy and understanding others' needs, positivity, who can see opportunities in the turmoil, composure rather than descending into blame and chastising others, flexibility, that willingness to change, resilience and emotional intelligence, and alignment. We admire leaders who are clear about their purpose and who work to connect others to it. This year, we also asked to help Australia move out of its current challenges and towards a flourishing and confident nation. What qualities do leaders need to develop? The list that people put forward was inclusiveness to cultivate collective intelligence, bridge building to bring people together, to unite us, a global perspective, a willingness to admit mistakes. This is a fundamental requirement for any progress to take place. A willingness to give it a go, that courage to act on important issues rather than kick those important issues down the road and let it be someone else's problem. Being open-minded and willing to listen to new ideas, clear communication because it mitigates uncertainty, better engagement to build social capital and public trust, an outward mindset, a focus on others, not just the self, and resilience and emotional intelligence. We admire leaders and we want leaders to be focused on something outside of themselves, to be people-focused, to be more humanistic. Now, there's a real weakness in what I've been saying or advocating so far. I've not acknowledged the terrible forces of self-interest and cynicism and narcissism acting against our ability to be our best selves. The 3 great ills of modern life: individualism, materialism, and hyper-competition. Worse still, our neoliberal economy pits us against each other and devalues our humanness. What ought a leader do in such a world? In a time of crisis, leaders need to remember that an abundance mindset is more helpful. Quite simply, this is a time for virtuous leadership. Kim Cameron has shown that when leaders embrace an abundance mindset, when they behave virtuously, when they adopt positive practices, there is a defined link to productivity and quality and innovation and engagement. And boy, don't we need these now. But unfortunately, most of our leaders arrive at our challenges with a scarcity mindset, where everything is a battle for resources. With such a mindset, there's never enough. Such leaders facilitate panic and uber competitiveness. But an abundance mindset, on the other hand, positively impacts our physical, mental, emotional, and social well-being. Leaders with an abundance mindset know that there is enough to go around and that humanity is capable of meeting its challenges. Such leaders empower us. They enable us to be our best selves. Authentic leadership is also critical. This means behaving in accordance with your values, what we call values congruent behavior. Such leaders are regarded as having more integrity. They reveal their real self. Authentic leadership also means being driven by a larger purpose that focuses on others. Reveal your real self, behave with integrity, be driven by a larger purpose, and you will be seen as a person of character. And that's a crucial dimension of leadership and of building trust. In a world that's become so polarized, where the focus is on pointing out our differences, there has not been a more urgent time to remind each other about our shared humanity, about what we have in common. For this reason, I argue that the key role of leadership today is to unite us, to bring people together, to find common ground. Our political leaders have failed miserably against this criteria. Aligning people you care about to a higher purpose is the difference between those groups or teams or societies that flourish and those that stumble. Done well, the purpose acts as a beacon, orienting us and directing all our efforts. In fact, the chief characteristic of high-performance cultures is that everyone has a deeper sense of purpose and a deeper commitment to a shared vision or a shared mission. Aligning people around a single unifying purpose is the role of leaders. Nothing is more important. Because leaders that understand and live their purpose are able to inspire others. This is because purpose creates meaning. It creates coherence in our world. It gives us significance. Our deepest urge as humans is to feel that we matter, that we have a purpose, and that what we do makes a difference. So defining your purpose creates tremendous power to engage and motivate, to inspire and drive the right behavior. As a result, mission-driven individuals and teams and cultures do better. What's fundamental is that our purpose is bigger than ourselves. As Martin Seligman so beautifully says, the self is a very poor place from which to find any meaning. And that is the aim when defining our purpose, to create meaning in our lives. Why? Because as Viktor Frankl said, life is never made unbearable by circumstances, but only by a lack of meaning and purpose. I said earlier that to cultivate a culture that is future ready, leaders require empathy. This is because empathy promotes trust. If someone feels understood, they are far more likely to trust you. So as a leader, your best bet is to seek to understand others. This is so important right now. The more that services are automated, the more important empathy becomes, the more it's required on those remaining human interactions. This is due to the fact that technology can't build trust. Only humans can, because only humans can demonstrate empathy. Because empathy cannot be automated, it is at the heart of human experiences, at the heart of true leadership. I think there's 7 C's of empathy. Things like courage and care and collaboration. And I would argue that this is what's most needed in our leadership in these difficult times. I could talk all day about engagement, and I regularly do as part of the work that we do. But rather than go into what it is and why it matters, let me simply give you a model for how leaders can cultivate great engagement. This is important because 70% of someone's perception of their own engagement or satisfaction comes down to their relationship with their leader. These are the 5 pillars of great engagement. Pillar 1, as I said earlier, our deepest urge is to feel valued, and people who don't feel valued rarely make valuable contributions. As a leader, you need to be constantly asking the people around you, what do you think? As this validates our humanness, it helps us to feel valued. As a leader, your most valuable asset is listening. There's only one behavior that's common to all great leaders. As Tom Peters would say, leadership by walking around, scheduling time to interact and connect with the people around you. Pillar 2, people want to feel a sense of purpose. They want to know where the team is headed. You've got to be 10 times more clear about this than you think you have to be. Pillar 3, it's almost impossible to improve if people don't know how they're going and what they need to do differently. Objective and constructive feedback is the most effective performance lever that you can pull. Pillar 4, people want to feel that what they do matters. This is your biggest challenge. Everyone needs to feel that they can make a contribution. So your role is to let people know that their work is vital. Pillar 5, make people feel that they're part of something special, part of a great team. So be the leader you wish you had had. Be present for those you care about. From the thousands of conversations that we've had, we know there's 6 areas that people want from their leader. A chance to collaborate, for you to help them to grow and develop and learn. More feedback and guidance about how they're going and where you're headed. And your team wants your time because it helps them to feel valued and they want to understand the purpose of their work. Get this engagement piece right and you will inspire people to overachieve and surpass expectations. I want to finish with a 30-second reflection. I want you to define for yourself 2 ideas for how you can move towards becoming the best leader you can be. Articulate 2 things you will do differently starting today to become a better leader. While reflecting on that, thank you kindly for listening. Please reach out if you would like to explore further anything I've talked about.